just a little bit ago as you can see a crowbar to get through this gate initially as well, the long guns and a multitude of people.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Celebrity for You. If you're new here, get ready for new deep dives into the biggest stories from the world of fame and entertainment. Today, we're unpacking a serious and complex topic that's been making headlines recently. The investigation into allegations of trafficking involving none other than hip-hop mogul P. Diddy. P. Diddy, also known as Sean Combs, has been a major figure in music, fashion, and business for decades. However, recent reports have brought some grave allegations to light. Before we dive in, I want to remind everyone that these are just allegations at this point, and the investigation is still ongoing. It's important to handle such topics with care and respect for all parties involved. Federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations, along with other law enforcement, searched 2 houses linked to music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. These searches, part of a sex trafficking investigation led by federal authorities in New York, happened in Los Angeles and Miami. It's not confirmed if Diddy is directly the target of this investigation. The details are pretty hush-hush, and the officials who shared this information weren't supposed to talk publicly and chose to remain anonymous. Homeland Security Investigations released a statement saying that these searches were part of an ongoing investigation and were supported by their teams in Los Angeles and Miami, along with local police. Meanwhile, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan didn't provide any comments on the matter. Diddy's attorney slammed the raid, calling it an overuse of military-level force in an email to Newsweek. Dyer emphasized that Diddy was never detained, cooperated with authorities, and neither he nor any family members have been arrested or had travel restricted. The Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, showed up at Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles and turned the place upside down. Why? Well, it's all part of a sex trafficking investigation, according to reports from the Associated Press. Now, before you jump to conclusions, let me make one thing clear. Diddy hasn't been arrested, and as of now, no charges have been filed against anyone. Diddy's lawyer, Aaron Dyer, didn't hold back though. He called the whole raid a witch hunt in a statement to the media. But here's where things get even messier. Diddy's been slapped with multiple lawsuits accusing him of some pretty serious stuff, including sexual misconduct. The latest one comes from music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who claims he endured a whole laundry list of horrors while working with Diddy. We're talking about accusations of sex trafficking, forcing people to procure sex workers, partying with underage girls, and even more disturbing allegations. One of the bombshells dropped in the lawsuit was the claim that Diddy allegedly paid a monthly stipend to a few women, including 50 Cent's ex, Daphne Joy, for, well, let's just say, services rendered. It's a bit of a mystery whether Diddy was around during the raids on his homes. TMZ shared some footage of Diddy pacing around Miami Airport on Monday, while his private jet was apparently spotted heading to Antigua. Now, when it comes to getting comments from Diddy's camp or the LAPD and Miami police, Billboard has been trying, but has had no luck so far. It seems like everyone's keeping pretty tight-lipped about the whole thing. And speaking of tight-lipped, Diddy's been dealing with some serious legal drama lately. There have been several civil lawsuits filed against him related to sexual assault allegations. One of the most notable ones came from his ex-girlfriend Cassie back in November 2023. She accused Diddy of physical abuse, repeated sexual assault, and even trafficking during their relationship. The first lawsuit came from singer Cassandra Ventura, also known as Cassie, followed by another filed by Joey Dickerson-Neal. Dickerson-Neal claimed Diddy drugged her during a dinner in 1991. So yeah, it's safe to say things are pretty messy in the world of hip-hop right now. Even though there have been several civil lawsuits accusing Diddy and others of serious offenses like sex trafficking and assault, no criminal charges have been brought against him so far. However, one of his associates, Brendan Paul, did get arrested on drug charges. Diddy's lawyer has called the recent raids a witch hunt, claiming they're based on groundless accusations. Let's talk about what this means legally, what kind of charges could potentially come up, and how evidence is collected and examined in cases like this. Diddy hasn't faced any criminal charges connected to these allegations. The recent raids on his properties were all about collecting evidence to check if there's truth to the claims made in some civil lawsuits against him. His lawyer, Aaron Dyer, wasn't happy with how the raids were conducted. He pointed out that the authorities were overly aggressive and hostile. During the discussion, the legal experts brought up the possibility of RICO charges, which stand for Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations. This kind of charge is used when someone is suspected of running an organized criminal group, and it can lead to some serious prison time if proven. The fact that Homeland Security is involved in the raids also points to a focus on human trafficking. This agency has been taking a bigger role in tackling human trafficking cases across the country at the federal level. Basically, if investigators find enough evidence that suggests there's an organized group committing these crimes under Diddy's watch, they could use RICO charges to prosecute. This would be a big deal because RICO charges are pretty heavy duty and are designed to dismantle entire criminal organizations. So, we're talking about potentially severe consequences if these charges come into play. The involvement of federal agencies like Homeland Security also indicates how serious and wide-reaching this investigation could be, especially with their focus on stopping human trafficking. In their discussion, the panelists dove into some important questions about the allegations. They talked about what sex trafficking really means and looked at the roles different people might play in such cases. This included famous names like Prince Harry, who was mentioned in connection with Diddy in a civil lawsuit, though he wasn't directly accused of anything. The conversation also covered how the legal system handles these situations. They discussed the possibility of a grand jury being called to review all the evidence. This step is crucial because it's how authorities decide whether there's enough proof to formally charge someone with a crime. Additionally, they explored how sometimes civil lawsuits, which are basically disputes between individuals or businesses that don't involve criminal charges, can lead to criminal investigations. If the claims in these lawsuits suggest that criminal actions might have happened, law enforcement might take a closer look to see if they should take further action. All in all, the panel tried to make sense of the complex legal proceedings that could unfold from these serious accusations, emphasizing the interplay between civil issues and potential criminal investigations. During the discussion, the topic of non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs, came up. The panelists pointed out that while NDAs are common for keeping certain details private, they can't legally hide any criminal activities. They also mentioned that if there's an investigation into alleged crimes, people who've signed NDAs can still be required to testify about what they know. The conversation also touched on how closely the global community is watching this case. There's a lot of interest because of the possible international consequences. For example, if Diddy were to leave the country, it could complicate things legally, especially if he's trying to avoid prosecution. Plus, if the alleged activities have connections to incidents in other countries, that could broaden the scope of the investigation significantly. Overall, the panel was really focused on how NDAs work in the context of criminal law and the international attention on the case, considering how it might unfold if it crosses national borders. They made it clear that while NDAs can protect privacy, they don't shield anyone from the law if there's evidence of wrongdoing. And what does this mean for P. Diddy's career? That remains to be seen. The court of public opinion can sometimes move faster than the legal system, and reputations can be affected overnight. We've seen careers derailed by allegations before full investigations are concluded, but we've also seen individuals emerge legally vindicated and their careers restored. As we follow this developing story, we'll keep you updated with any major breakthroughs or updates. Here at Celebrity for You, we believe in providing you with accurate and timely information, respecting all parties involved while keeping you, our viewers, informed. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found this video enlightening, don't forget to like, comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to Celebrity for You for more content that keeps you in the loop with all things celebrity. We value your thoughts and would love to hear your opinions on this case.